hills and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance to spit in his eye. Oh, well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I dry my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as good.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. I'm Matty. Joined tonight with special guest Liam from Retro Video Club. Liam, how's it going?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Very good. Looking forward to this. We've always said when we get a guest on, just think kind of what you've let yourself in for. But hopefully you have an enjoyable next hour or so.
I'm sure I will.
Talking shite. Colin, how you doing?
I'm good. Just was watching the Celtic game there. They're getting a bit of doing. Quite laughing.
Are they? What's the score?
1-0 at half time, but it's no, they're not in
it. You watch the Rangers game? That was mental, eh?
Just seen a bit, yeah, I know. But I'm just laughing at the Celtic fans all shouting for every decision and not getting any of them because they're not used to that, eh?
No, they're not used to that at all.
And John, how you doing?
Good. Aye, pretty relaxed for a change in the college today. Was out swimming with the bairn for the first time this morning, so quite good.
And the weather's good, so you're not even needed to go down to the pool for that. It'll just be open the back door in the back garden.
I just swimming about in the grass, or what's left of it.
So we had the dugout in the back garden there. Every time he's come in, it's just fucking mud everywhere.
It's fucking see this weather like the last few days. It's torture having a dug because you can't escape it. Like you have to. I've come back in. I think about on 3 different occasions and had to change my shoes and socks, so they've just been soaked.
Aye.
Anyway,
right,
that's
we'll
my bones at me.
It's no sports team. We'll not be talking about washing stuff, John. Right, first question the right then comes from Andrew Brown. Actually, we've got a Hibs-related question first off. He says, the flashback videos Hibs put out for upcoming opponents got me thinking, what's the top 3 seasons you've had watching Hibs? For him, it was the 0001 under McLeish, 0405 under Mogga, and 1718 under Lennon, with the last season a close 4th, probably only because no one was there to see it. So just an interesting time. We'll pick a best season each, and we'll do a top 4. Colin, you want to go first?
I'll take the Mowbray season was quality, wasn't it? Just you look forward to going every week. Just goals galore, wasn't it? Sorry, Mowbray season didn't win anything, but it was good to go every week.
Aye. John?
It would have been. I'm not going to go Mowbray. I'm going to say our first. Well, when we got relegated back in 98-99, so that year in what was the old First Division then, that was pretty good because I think we went on like was it a 17 game unbeaten run or something?
Like that.
Sorry, that was
back then as well.
Aye, that was good.
What about you, Liam?
In fairness, I probably would say the one under Lennon, probably the same as the boy actually, 17-18. That was because of a sort of scheduling issue. That was the first season in a wee while that me and my old man both got one again, and it was one of these seasons where I suppose that team too, but even if we went a goal down, which inevitably we typically always did go a goal down first, you just knew it's all right. Like getting when we had McGee up, Allen playing, when Canberra was there, McLaren, all that for the first time, and you just knew that we were going to win the game. But again, we were just.
It was the second part of that season was quality, wasn't it?
Oh, it was amazing.
January, February onwards.
You just knew, again, even if you went 1 down, you just can't. It doesn't matter, we've got to go on and win. Again, 3 or 4-1. We just had goals.
And Kilmarnock was about 5-3 or
5-3. Yeah, it was 5-3, then 5-5 the next week, wasn't it?
The last, I think the last game of that season was against Rangers. That ended, I think it was at 5-5 or something.
It was a 5-5.
5-5. Mental. But just a brilliant team. Like, it's one of the things I always say to folk when I speak about Hibs and that. Like, I recognise, like, Hibs only got to win every game, but you just want to go and watch a team like that. And, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant time. Great season.
I'd probably go with the Latipe Soze side under McLeish. Kind of 6-2 team that season.
That would have been
brilliant.
Oh, that's choice.
All right, Guinness 2022 is the next question. It says, Shortbangers, the James Webb Space Telescope launched in December will soon send infrared pictures on what the universe was like 13.7 billion years ago. Will this actual factual look back in time scientifically settle whether Rangers and Sevco are the same club? Wouldn't it be brilliant if it was just they did it was just a big fucking bearded white guy going, I fucking tell you, thank God. Tell you it was real.
I want to be able to go back in time to see that big fella that was stood outside Ibrox saying the big house must stay open with the crutches.
He's pan-breed now, isn't he?
Is he?
Aye.
He didn't look well at the time, did he?
No, well, he didn't know he was in it.
Mind John Brown as well.
Okay.
The deeds. What's it about the deeds? Let me see the deeds.
Some of the deeds. He was right there, wasn't he? For all he was like everybody called him a nutter, he was fucking right. Yeah. What historic thing would you like to see proven, Liam?
Jeez, always put me on the spot now. I would like probably see it. Well, probably an SFA thing. So, would probably be the standard of refereeing back then. I think that's what I would like to see. If it's improved over time or not. I mean, it just can't have improved in Scotland. So, just to see if it was as bad back then.
It's always been brutal, isn't it? Like, that's the thing. They've always had their own way. The two of them. I was talking to the window cleaners the other day, Celtic fans, moaning about Rangers getting all the decisions.
Didn't it?
You hear yourselves. You hear yourselves.
No sense irony at all.
Would you ever see if you got pissed off enough with their chat? Would you try and push them off their ladders just into your garden, fuck off?
Oh, they come in that big fucking pole now. They didn't
have that all the time, in the group chat and that again. But boys are. Some of the boys are Celtic fans, some of them are Rangers fans. Didn't get me wrong, most of them are sound because they're for Edinburgh and they support an Edinburgh team. But again, there's a few of them that are for Edinburgh and support the BG team. But they get everything in there. They're just like, mate, shut up. Honestly.
See, during lockdown, with folk working from home, how many window cleaners do you reckon have caught someone having a Tommy tank?
That must happen loads, eh?
Oh, it must happen all the time.
I used to try and time them for when the window cleaner came in. Get the curtains open quick.
my old man was a window cleaner. He's seen a few things and that was pre-pandemic. So,
what made you think of that, John?
He's just always thinking about having a wank. That's his.
It was
seen the windows.
No, it's just it was something that Colin said about the boys with the big long poles. And we get the window cleaner, and I'm not sure whether to leave the window open so they can't see the state of my room, or whether because as well because you're working from home, you can't say to them when you go to the door, oh fuck, I didn't think you were going to be here because I've got no money to pay or whatever. Just can you come by later? The whole scenario, the whole exchange is just awkward as fuck. And
it's awkward if the thing is, see if the blinds on this shut, it is awkward, eh? You're just sort of doesn't matter what you're doing.
You can, I'm here, I can, you're there.
Want to look, eh? Even if you're sitting watching the telly, you kind of just feel bad for watching the telly.
It's a weird kind of voyeurism.
It is weird.
You put your headphones on, pretend you're on a work call. That's what you do. We get a boy comes and cuts the back garden. We don't have a window cleaner comes in, but we get in the summer a boy comes and cuts our grass, and that's where I sit there working in my kitchen, which looks onto the back garden. And you hear him coming with the lawnmower, and it's quick fucking headset on, make it look like you're on a call, just sit nodding and like that, and just
can he hide fucking money, eh? Fucking gardener. A gardener and a window cleaner.
You've got a gardener.
I've not got a window cleaner. Just the garden.
It's the garden.
Only in the summer months, and a tenner every 2 weeks to cut the grass.
Grass is immaculate, but his windows are fucking bogging.
Well, the grass cuttings goes up onto the fucking window. The window cleaner will touch them. The reason we did it, we get frogs in our back garden, and I'll know what to just mow over them. So we first moved over. So the first time I cut the grass when we moved over, I've gone and I spotted this frog, and I shouted Josh, so my son, who would have been 2 or 3 at the time, so it's like a toddler. I was like, "Oh, Josh, come!" And anything you were pushing the lawnmower up, the wee frog would jump out the way. And so I was kind of avoiding it and shouted Josh. And Josh came running out. And as he kind of got closer to it, he never saw it. And just in his stride, he just booted it over the fence. And I was like, I can't be taking this long to cut grass every time trying to avoid frogs. So there was a local guy. I think he got a business card through the door saying that I would cut grass. So I was just did it for a tenner. So that's how it came about. Just frog safety. I'm sure they get killed now, but it's not me that does it, so I didn't feel bad. It's not on my conscience.
He's slicing them with a big petrol one.
Yes,
give a fuck.
Definitely.
Right, Charlie Banks says, which cover song is the best one of all time?
I think that's maybe one for the musician on the call.
Which cover song's the best cover of all time? Is that what you said, aye?
Aye. And you're not allowed to say Burning Heroes as well.
I was going to say,
well,
Colin will pick that one, or John.
I tell you what's a really good one. Always on My Mind. Pet Shop Boys cover is really good. Really good.
I never even thought of that.
That's a shout out. My uncle John is a massive Pet Shop Boys fan, but that is a really good cover actually. Another good cover is in the same sort of vein, Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. That's a cover, believe it or not. That's a good tune too. I'm trying to get any other cover version. Probably Validate's good, eh?
That's the one I was just going to say. Validate, Amy Winehouse covering the Zootons. That's really good.
That is good and all. Like,
there's a few songs you like. The oh fuck me, what's that? The era, I can't remember the type of music it was, but like Tainted Love's a cover version of a song for.
Aye. Well, Marilyn Manson covered Tainted Love, eh? He covered that. That's been covered loads, that song. Soft Cell originally it was, I think. Or was Soft Cell's a cover maybe?
They covered that, aye. I'm trying
John, you were a big fan of Robson and Jerome doing Unchained Melody, weren't you? Like, I think you have that one in the car all the time.
Aye. Fucking number one on my Spotify playlist. I actually can't think of any covers off the top of my head. The only one I can think of was Smooth Criminal by Alien Ant Farm, but that's just because I think it was on Tony Hawk's back in 19 Canteen.
That's not a terrible cover, in fairness. It's a bit out there. But it's funny, it's funny because when you turn off and stop talking, you'll think of one and go, I don't think of that yet.
I just have a list of them. Foo Fighters, and they done a cover of Prince's Darling Nikki. I prefer Foo Fighters version.
Mm-hmm.
Travis did Hit Me Baby One More Time. Kind of Britney Spears. They did that for the one. That was decent. Heroes, Oasis. Song. That's good. And Sleeper did Atomic, kind of Blondie song for the Trainspotting soundtrack. That's good too.
The type of music I was trying to see was Northern Soul. That was the
Northern
type I was trying to. Loads of songs in there are the originals of songs that came out later as covers.
Aye.
That was a good question, Charlie. Better than the
that
last
was
ones,
a good
which were
question,
all questionable. Chris Lee says, any idea what Alt J are referring to in this song and should be called The Authorities? And the lyrics it's quoting is, give me that gold straight into my hard drive. Give me that gold straight into my hard drive, baby. Yeah. So what are they singing about there?
Is it Prince Andrew related? Is he no Prince Andrew anywhere? Who's that you're saying? It's just Andrew, isn't it? Andrew.
It's just Andrew now.
Yeah.
Did they have the royal title stripped? I know that there was various.
No,
I think he had his medals.
He had it stripped, but folk, believe it or no, some folk are campaigning that he should get his that should be overturned and that he should get it back.
Back probably. That's how it works.
To be fair, there's a lot of them I think in Dortmund tonight, actually. Believe it or not, there's folk that are campaigning for him to get. I've heard of plastered across the radio and all. See that whole thing, right? It's fucking mental. Like,
The mental.
mental. Again, I
Mhm.
seen a headline the other day that when I was in the shop, Queen set to pay Prince Andrew thinking, you think, well, not we're paying Prince Andrew's thing, aren't we?
Right.
Like,
Yep.
yeah, and it's mental, man. You get away with
For a
anything.
woman that he's never met.
Right, aye. It'd be enough
No,
to make you
never
sweat him.
Fucking disgrace.
That's fucking disgrace. That's exactly what
Actually, Kevin, what? I'm going back to our previous question. You asked me, what would you like to see me improving? That.
That's a great shout, by the way.
That.
Get the James Webb telescope out.
Can he sweat or not?
We fucking sweating as you're sitting on playing back the evidence.
Well,
Right.
apparently, sorry to cut you off, there's 300 photos that the papers have got that the government are asking not to publish. But I've seen that and all. Apparently, through their investigation, I don't know what paper it is. Apparently, they've got 300 odd photos that will obviously incriminate them. That the government are saying, can you please no post them?
I know.
Mental.
Money talks.
Money talks, mate.
Right, I don't ken what the context of this question is, so somebody will need to help me out. Right, Charlie again says, apart from the obvious, what else did Stacey's mum have going on?
Oh, that's that song.
Shut
That's
up.
a great song, by the way.
Video. Good video.
Oh, yeah. Who was? Do you get who the actress was in the video?
It's Rod Stewart's wife.
Rachel
Right.
Hunter. Was it?
Well done. It was Rod Stewart's wife, huh?
She had a Provolone. She had that going on.
She had somebody mowing her lawn. She had a girl in her day.
She said,
She was very Rod Stewart.
didn't
She
she?
a fucking
"Why
catch.
did they come write a song about me then?"
I think she's scared the frogs or not.
That's what she had. She had the wee dude cutting the grass, didn't they? Well, she was sitting by the pool when that. Fucking match.
That's right, yeah. That was in
Right,
what was that? Must have been the
right,
late 90s or something. That was it.
Stacey's mum was it was like 202 or something, I think, somewhere
Oh,
around
was it?
there. 203 maybe.
Hey, Rod Stewart answers the door to the window cleaner in his leopard skin thong. Guaranteed, like his wee budgie smugglers. Right, Charlie again. Says Ben, Ken's Everton might be my favourite nickname for a Hibs related figure ever. What's yours? Do you want to wind that out to favourite nickname in general?
Jukebox Jury was decent for Hibs' point of view. That was a decent nickname.
There was,
But Ben knows everything, definitely. Is that trademark? Did we trademark that?
we should probably have trademarked it.
Aye.
But
But favourite nicknames are that's like you see the clips flying about now with the Australian boys.
Aye.
You see, you get them on WhatsApp and all that. There, you get some funny ones in there.
There was
There's
one that
probably-
a few
What's
I
his
read a
name?
couple of years ago was a boy called Two Soups because his nickname was Two Soups because his name was Campbell Baxter.
Right.
Aye.
There was another one. There was a boy called Puggy because he had a gap between his teeth that you could fit a pound coin between.
What was it? The one I'm remembering now is it Sniper's Nightmare because the boy had one leg longer than the other. So he just walked
Something like that.
Could you walk? Sniper's Dream for if they got like a big head as well. It's Sniper's Nightmare, Sniper's Dream, and there was a boy whose name was Wayne Bruce, and his pals called him Man Bat. You got any good ones, Liam?
No, not that I can think of, actually.
Who's the
I can't think of
football
any.
player
I
down the
can
road?
mind
Was
a funny. I mean, he was a funny wee player to watch, but mind Jorge Claros was the pit bull, wasn't it?
No, aye.
That's what he got
Why
called.
was-
The pit
Got
bull.
was
that
shot
for?
in the head before he signed for Hibs. He got shot in the head.
Did he?
Just a
Aye.
casual thing that happened. I just got shot in the head the other day. Just carry on my football career. No bother.
As you do.
Right, Ian N said, "Have you ever been pipped anywhere other than at the post?" No.
That's one of the ones, where it's like
What's that? Is that expression come from like horse racing or something? You reckon?
Aye.
You get
Aye.
pipped at the post.
Like,
aye.
what's the pip? Is that like a sound
Well,
or is that like
No,
the
I think it's
picture
just
that
you
they
get
take of it?
beaten. You get like pipped at the post, don't you?
Is it as simple as that? Is that like a word in common usage, like pipped?
What
No,
they used to do,
that's
John,
what I'd mean for it. Ken.
back in the
Only
old
if it's
days.
by the post, at the post though. Only
Aye.
at the post. You didn't get picked anywhere else. That's what the boys question. That's all, man.
In the old days, what they used to do is to put like a line of lemons on the finishing line. So the first horse would land on it, and the pips would shoot and patch whoever was second. So you got pipped at the post. Actual factual. Aye.
Yep.
Right. Neil Renton said, "Who would play you in a film of your life?"
Well, did he not answer this question for me the other day? Did he not say, because was it the Specs, Bald
Oh,
Head,
he
and
said
that?
you
It
look
was,
like,
it was Ray Winston.
Ray Winston, actually. I was about to say Ray Winston.
Yeah. Fucking hell. See, when I've got the glasses off, it was Sean Ryder, so I'm going to keep the glasses on in the
Keep
future.
the glasses on. I would have said Ray Winston. I think Will Poulter would play me in a movie.
Will Poulter.
You ken who that is?
Nah. Who is it?
It's a boy from We Are the Millers.
Oh, right, aye. With the main guy, like?
The young guy.
The laddie. Aye.
The one that gets his balls bitten by a tarantula.
Aye, him, aye. I get that all the time. We'll fit my pals.
Well,
Couldn't be
like,
some-
I recognise
Do you
the
look
name,
like him, or have you got giant balls?
I mean, depending on the day. Some days I've got giant balls, some days I look like him. Apparently I look a bit like him.
Oh, you could have had what's his face, Gandolfini, off of The Sopranos.
Oh, do you think so?
Like he'd
Aye,
have to do
and I didn't
CGI in that now.
And I didn't do the breathing thing he does either, because that was one of my. It's back to the pet peeves thing.
Oh, aye.
He was one of the
Noisy
worst
breathing.
noisy eaters on the TV. Yeah.
I gotta go for Eddie Murphy.
Aye. Yeah, I'm a Washington, eh? Denzel Washington. It's one of the two.
Aye, one or two. Matt said, "What's the best cure for a hangover?"
McDonald's cheeseburger.
I thought you were going to go for the breakfast menu for McDonald's.
McDonald's cheeseburger.
better, no.
Yeah.
Just the one on its own, no sides, no drinks, just the cheeseburger.
Just the cheeseburger. It depends because I've got a right sweet tooth. So if I go to McDonald's, I always get a milkshake rather than like a Coke or that. But if you're dying of a hangover, the last thing you want is a milkshake. You know what I mean? So
what's the milkshake machine like your way? Like, is it ever broken? Because the one down the road for me is constantly broken.
they're right broken, or the roof. Oh, nah, the roof. You think? No, you're open 24/7. How can they be
Turn it
off?
on.
You can just switch it back on. Like,
They take so long to freeze or something, don't they? We've got the expert at the top left on my screen here on it.
Well, McDonald's originally started selling milkshakes and no burgers. And then
did they?
burgers were added to the menu later. That's what they were famous for.
Fucking
You
Well,
learn this on your management
fucking
training
bust.
course.
is that? Have you seen the film The Founder?
No.
No.
It's about it's about Ray Kroc and how he stole McDonald's in the inception of McDonald's. And it was two brothers that had a McDonald's, and it was in the 50s, I think. And
Aye.
they used to do like proper milkshakes like they do them now. But the boy that stole it off them, Ray Kroc, he wanted to do powdered milkshakes because they were quicker. And I should watch it. That's me sidetracking, but I should watch it. It's good.
We'll watch it.
Get that on the list of films to watch.
You learn all about milkshake.
I watched the Rooney one last night, Colin, after you were talking about it. That was decent.
Oh,
You see, he was in a press conference today talking about how the FA have had a word with him after he confessed to going out to deliberately injure an opponent.
Aye, I bet they
Were
have.
they?
Who was it? Lampard?
John Terry.
John Terry, I think.
Terry.
I think he ended up getting injured himself in that game, didn't he? That was what they showed. It was like an immediate karma for it. Like Paul Mackay said, if Thai Fu put the T in Britain, who put the cunt in Scunthorpe?
Do you know that's one of my big pet peeves when it comes to like Hibs.net or the bounce is that you can't write Scunthorpe, but it's in the entirety because it just automatically filters it out.
Fixed it.
Did you?
Hibsnet. Aye. So you can now put.
So you can have Scunthorpe, but you can't have Feety Bobbies.
Bobbies is X-rated, but Scunthorpe you can have now. You just couldn't separate it. Like if you put a space between the S and the Scunthorpe bit, it wouldn't have worked. But Scunthorpe is one word you can have. I've got family in Scunthorpe.
Are they cunts?
So, well, nah.
Nah, oh well. The answer, I think, is Ian Botham, because I think he's for Scunthorpe and he's a cunt.
He played for them. He played for Scunthorpe as a footballer.
Yeah.
One of these footballers and cricketers. Andy Gorham did that as well.
Aye.
Played cricket. Right, Fats Brickus. Should cars use their window wipers to wave hello to other cars when it's not raining?
I'm sure I suggested this when we did the live show.
I think he's asked us this one before.
I remember that question. Did we not just stick with flashing the lights?
Aye.
I wanted to start a movement.
I was saying that cars are like they have the freedom of thought themselves, that they can just go and decide.
All right.
Ken.
That should be a feature that they install in driverless cars. No driverless cars, but cars that drive themselves. Like just like a re-acknowledgement,
Other cars.
transferring the data, and they flash the
Flag it
windscreen
pops up.
wipers.
Right, guys.
Yeah, right. Like you drive, right? Do you
Aye.
drive, Liam?
Aye, I
You got a motor, so like you'll remember doing like your theory test and that, and it tells you like what to do if you've no got indicators, like stick the hand out the side and like roll it round if you're going to be turning left. Has
I'm old enough
anyone
not to
in the
have-
history of motoring ever done that?
No.
But I did know it for the highway code, not for a theory test, because I'm that old. I didn't have to do a theory test. So that was the beauty of that. Like theory test must have came in. When did you sit your test then, John? To have done a theory test?
I started driving late, like 9 years ago.
Right, I was going to say, because I don't know, what was that 95 I passed my test, so there's no, it was just turn up and do your, just drive down the streets.
Just drive.
Aye, so no, not that long ago that they didn't have indicators.
No, I still had indicators, but it was a highway code, it wasn't in your theory test.
Aye.
Do the-
Oh,
do
so you
the-
did you just go out and do the test then? Did you
Aye.
get asked questions by the examiner?
read that number plate, and then at the end you had to do, you got 3 road signs. Nobody asked to stick your hand out the window and do the do the angle, but I did know it. But I've never done it. Nobody was fucking indicating anyway. But
Again, that's what I was saying. Nobody does it anyway.
Right, Fats Brickus again. Can goths play frisbee? You never see goths driving, by the way. Never mind playing frisbee, but do you think they could?
They drive at night.
Aye.
How would you
What's
get?
the-
Go out driving, you'll see them.
Nah, I'll tell you why they
No.
didn't. Well, I'll tell you why they didn't play frisbee.
Yes.
Because if you think about the boots, right, and I've actually got Doc Martens, right, but they've got the proper like brothel creeper ones that are like
the platform things.
the platform like that. So every time if they're at the meadows playing and they go to run, it's like sinking to the ground with each step, right? So, and throwing a frisbee, it's just not going to work, is it?
Kevin was just occurred to me
Unless you
about
stand
like
still, throw it like 3 or 4 feet with it. Yeah,
just like deadly accuracy. It's just occurred to me, like you ever seen those big goth boots that have got like the wee bits that you can engrave, like fucking world champion goth, like you would get on a football trophy or something. Have you seen them?
I've seen them. That, I'm quite well versed in the club game. My pals wind me up all the time because I wear black. Say that I'm a goth, but I'm definitely no. I'm definitely no.
I'm going to send. Oh fuck! Here's a pair. I'll send it to you in the WhatsApp group tonight. But honestly, like you'd think
You're
that
not
they
going
were
to show
football
it to the
trophies, you could
camera,
engrave them.
John. This is your opportunity to shine.
What about them?
You fucker.
You fucker.
Like you could engrave them.
Well, that's what I mean. That's the kind of shoes I mean. How you got to play frisbee in them?
Maybe they've got jetpacks built on the bottom. Like,
By the way, fair play. How much must they weigh?
What they would be good for is swing ball. They could just stand them and tie a elastic to their forehead, and you can have a game of swing ball in them.
Yeah. Did you see the video, right, that was doing the rounds on Twitter the other day? Paku Jabi's free kick. Did you see that video, right? And that's what it reminds me. He must have had these shoes on, right? Because the free kick doesn't get off the ground.
Because it was
almost for a corner. Oh,
Did we not get the big build up on that one? Like the boy was getting the free kicks and that. So he done the whole fucking run up and the build up.
he did. He done
Oh,
the Roberto Carlos and that, and then who was it? Who was the pundit? Is it Pat? What's his
Nevin,
name?
Pat Nevin.
Pat Nevin.
Aye, Pat Nevin, right? And he's talking over it, going, I mean, it's funny because you're only a couple of inches away from really connecting with it. Nah, so he's trying to justify it. They told me it again. I guess went out for a throw. What are you talking about?
Kajabi was in the same postcode as connected with, never mind a few
No.
inches.
No.
Fucking hell.
Fattest Prickus again. Would the world be a happier place if everyone ate their breakfast before we went to bed so that we all got a long lie?
See, if you did that, there wouldn't be any. You wouldn't have a meal called breakfast.
So what he means is eat supper.
Aye.
That's
That's what he means.
Cereal for
Skip
supper.
breakfast.
That's what I have anyway. Cereal for supper.
What's your cereal of choice? What's the go-to?
Golden nuggets.
What are they?
They're like...
There wasn't even a hint of doubt in your voice there. Golden
Oh,
nuggets.
So, listen, my missus bought me a box of golden nuggets for Valentine's Day. No kidding, she did. Golden. They're just like, you must have seen the golden nuggets.
Aye, I've
Has it got to be guy like for the?
It's got to be
cartoon
minor guy.
Aye.
Aye, it's got to be minor guy, mate. They're deadly, them. If it's no them, then don't know. Crunchy nut, maybe. Can't quite a crunchy nut actually. And then sweet.
Oh, good.
The Cocoa Pops and that then are like, none of that.
Wheatos and Cocoa Pops and all that. I mean, they're all fine, Ken. But
I've got a theory about Wheatos. That Wheatos have been shite ever since they got rid of Professor Wheato off the front of the box. That was when they started taking all the E numbers and as well. So just fucking.
most cereals are doing that the way.
Oh, Sugar Puffs are shite now,
Aye.
Sugar Puffs.
No, we're buying them.
Do they even?
Buying the sugar puffs.
Do they even make your pish smell different?
Freudian slip there, aye.
Thingy, mind Frosties. They used to be a lot more sugary and all.
Oh, Frosties were just like
Sugar.
white encrusted flakes. Aye,
They were just diabetes in a bowl.
Did you know you used to
They
have
were
Weetabix?
amazing though.
If you had Weetabix when you were wee, you'd pretty much you'd put the Weetabix in it, and you'd have like a top crust of sugar that you would put on yourself.
Oh, aye.
Fucking amazing that, like.
Amazing. Aye, give you that.
There's nobody reducing the sugar out of them if you're doing it yourself.
No.
Jack Gillies is Mad Vlad the former Hearts owner behind all this trouble with Ukraine and Russia?
He's probably involved in it somehow.
Still on the run, eh?
Aye.
He's leading the invasion by sea and he's K-19.
Are there theft-worthy charities in Ukraine? That's probably your litmus test. Do they sell poppies in Ukraine?
There's definitely charities though. So we've got one.
So.
There's a Hibs one that's over there.
Oh,
Yeah, that'd be a plot twist, eh? If Vlad was to steal for a Hibs charity.
We'd find him. We'd hunt him down. We'd do Liam Neeson on him. Ray said, who was your first celebrity crush? He says, I write this as Spotify plays a random Blondie track.
Mine was Catherine Zeta-Jones in The Mask of Zorro.
Is that the one that she wore the catsuit in? Or was that...
No, she didn't wear any catsuit. She was, it was 1998, and it was Antonio Banderas played Zorro. Anthony Hopkins was in it.
Is that the one when she was doing the climbing under the lasers?
That's the one I'm thinking of.
No. Zorro, fucking Zorro's set in.
Oh, aye, of course.
No lasers with Zorro. Just
what was the one then? What's the one we're thinking of then?
It was one with Sean Connery, but it's not. It's kind of like
Snow Claro. What was it called again?
I don't.
Wait, no,
I use Google it. I'll go with Natalie Imbruglia or like Danny Minogue or something like that.
Entrapment.
Entrapment, was it?
That's what you're thinking, eh? But I mean, same time, 1999. So mine's is 98, but same time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It probably would have been Neighbours Days calling, if like
Neighbours and Home,
for our age.
Beth Beth was Natalie Imbruglia, wasn't she? So, and Danny Minogue was in Home and Away at the time as
Aye.
well. Can't remember her character's name, but aye, I'll go with that. Stick with that.
Were you, John?
Do you know? I honestly can't remember.
I think you can. You're just embarrassed. You're too
One
shy
of
to
them.
say what.
I'm
was his
too
name?
embarrassed by some of the revelations I've had in this podcast. I genuinely cannot remember.
Was it Antonio Banderas in Zorro?
When he was firing the
Sean
laser.
Connery in Entrapment. What a...
Oh, do you know, actually, Rene Russo in Lethal Weapon. I've always had a thing about redheads.
My missus
she was-
was redhead, actually. Fair enough.
So was mine. I actually
see
had a standing arrangement with my adopted dad. Didn't he let me marry anyone that isn't a redhead? Like, you have my full permission if
Just
I'm
put you
getting
up.
married to someone at the altar to stand up and object.
What would your objection be? Kid, you know Ginger? Like that? Is that what you would shout? You said, go and shout that out.
I mean, the
That's what it-
details were left up to him, but the message was, didn't let me marry anyone that isn't a redhead.
Oh, well, and he stuck to it.
Stuck to it.
What a boy.
Did you answer that,
Eh,
Matthew?
I was neighbours either. Same
Oh,
as you,
just
like
say
I
neighbours.
said, just
Aye.
the same sort of stuff.
Come to that.
Aye. Ray, again, ideal food, drink, location. For instance, Bisteca, how you pronounce that? Fiorentina cooked over a wood fire. Barolo in the Tuscan hills overlooking Florence, or fish and chips iron brew at Anstruther. You get the idea. So a food, drink, and a location worldwide. What would be your ideal?
Quite a hard one to think off the cuff.
Aye,
Oh,
everybody's looking up. He's a proper thinker. You can tell when everybody's thinking this because everybody looks up like that.
Probably
A
Mine
holiday.
I
I'll go
think
for
mine
it.
could be half and half. Half and half pizza. Half and half pizza pasta in Piazza Navona in Rome with an amaretto sours. That would be my aye, that would be mine.
Decent.
You're
Well,
quite cultured for a boy that eats golden nuggets for his supper.
I know.
Mine, I'm going to go with a classic vodka and Fanta lemon when you're sitting on a balcony on your holiday in Spain with a packet of paprika lays by your side.
Because the Fanta Lemon's always better over there, eh?
Aye. I don't know what it is. It just is better. It has
Got
to
all
be
the
ice
numbers
cold
in it
as well.
still.
That's
That's why.
Because you couldn't get it over here. when
They
we
don't
first
give a
started.
fuck about numbers or anything. They're just like, fucking keep that all in. It's sound.
That's it. All the good stuff.
All the good
What were you
stuff.
calling
abroad.
I can't think. I mean, I'm having a wee glass of wine now, so I'm thinking I quite like New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, right? It sounds wanky. I don't know. I just know I like it. I don't know. I'm not a wine aficionado, but Marlborough region in New Zealand, I quite like that. I like the look of it. I like the wine for it, but I can't think what I'd be eating at the same time because I don't know what they're. It'd be lamb or
What
something.
about
eh?
you? I think I put noodle
Bit
with
lamb. Aye.
Like olives,
Ah.
Colin. You ever eat olives with wine?
Nah, I didn't, but I don't mind olives, but I've never really have it with wine, no.
You like olives, John?
No, but the last time, I think it was maybe, I want to say it was maybe like the first game back at Easter Road. You know, when they got the crowds back, like full house and that. Me and a mate went to, I think it was Joseph Pearce's, you know, in Leith Walk.
Yeah, I'm not-
We were sat outside and it was just like we got like the tiny slivery sunlight as it was kind of like coming around the buildings. And we were sat there drinking cocktails and eating fucking olives and drinking pints as well. It was a lovely afternoon.
Decent. I like the south of France because that's how it goes. Saint-Tropez maybe with cheese and meat. You just like you get all that in France. I like the
Aye.
just could just sit with that patty and fucking sit scranning that and just a cold pint pretty much fucking tenants. Cold pint of
Wee
tenants.
tenants. Wee
Delicious.
tenants. Yeah, if you go to Italy, you've got a tenant super. That's a delicacy over there.
Aye. Oh, no fuss about having a super, just like a normal tenants.
Is that, you been serious or are you taking
Aye,
this?
tenant super. It's Jakey
Aye.
stuff over here, but it's delicacy in Italy.
They advertise at the windows of the fancy places. It's true. I'm not even
Absolute
kidding.
shit.
They do. Right, William said, where do all the teaspoons go?
Fucking great question. Like, I have that all the time in this house.
Forks in my house,
Daughters.
eh?
Forks.
Aye.
Because I thought it was like when the kids take yogurt to school and that, and the spoon doesn't come back with it. That's what I was putting it down to. Always having to go buy another wee set of teaspoons to fill the drawer. But why forks then? What do they take? Do they take stuff away in the back lunch like salads and that? Or maybe the forks.
Yeah.
They'll be in their fucking room. I'll be in the
room. That's where they go, like, but or in the bin, they'll have been in the room and they'll tidied up and just fucking just chucked all stuff off their floor into the bin. That's my theory behind it. But I think we've only got about 3 matching forks. There's all like different forks, and the right times you go to make fucking dinner, I'm like, we've got fucking forks. Does my head in that? You can tell. We just replaced our teaspoons because we were running low on them, but we replaced them. So we're well stocked for teaspoons if you need any.
I didn't realise that you could buy individual bits of cutlery, like for your cutlery drawer.
Yeah, got IKEA and that. They do that.
Huh?
Fuck.
You live in Ireland. 6 teaspoons.
Your mind's blown, John. Eh?
Just teaspoons because everyone loses them. Eh?
Well, I think it's coincidental because when we were in, I think it was Aldi the other day. You can that like middle mystery aisle. You never know what you're going to get. So they had cutlery in there, and I was saying to the missus that we should maybe think about picking them up because I got into a bad habit of just bringing home work cutlery. So our cutlery drawer's just a mishmash of fucking everything. But it could do a bit of refresh. But
how'd you get the habit? How'd you get a habit of that?
Because I'm a thieving bastard. A thieving lazy bastard.
Folk get in a habit of drinking too much, gambling too much. Fucking the sex addicts. John's like steals a cutlery for them.
Fucking day's ruined the day they put a metal detector in at the door. Kid, you go walk through it, you're like, fucking hell, job's gone.
Rucksack jangling as I go through the security gate.
I built them in. I had a yogurt. Leo says, why are winners of domestic American sports leagues world champions?
Is that all of them though? Because it's the baseball's got. There's no reason. It's something to do with the sponsorship way back at the start. It was called the World Series.
I think that's maybe disputed, but it is called the World Series, and I do think that they call the winners of the NFL world champions.
That's because nobody else plays it. But nobody else fucking plays it.
No.
That's the thing. It's because it's the sports and nobody else gives a fuck about. That's because we're world champions and everyone goes. Nothing. It's like in India, if you're the kabaddi champions, you're world champions of kabaddi because nobody else is doing it.
Nobody else plays it.
Right, Ray said, what out-of-court charitable donation would you be most likely to make and to whom if you'd never met them and were definitely innocent?
Sorry, I missed that. I was looking up the percentage of Americans that didn't have a passport.
What?
You got to send that question in next week, like.
No, that was going to be my theory about world champions. If you never leave America, if you've never got the ability to leave America, then you're the world champion.
Aye.
Right. The question for you again then, John, is what out-of-court charitable donation would you be most likely to make and to whom if you'd never met them and were definitely innocent?
You could make a charitable donation to Hibs, couldn't you?
What would they have accused you of, God? Booing aggressively.
Aye.
Leaving early.
Not fully supporting the team because it was on the case of one of the players one day. So, I don't know.
Noising up
the big to the Jambos.
Noising up the away support for the middle of the pitch, maybe. That would be one.
Aye. All right. The next question for Neil says, have you seen a funnier, more disturbing tweet? And I don't know if you've seen this one doing the rounds. It's the lassie says, so the tweet says, imagine finding out your best friend has seen your dad. Couldn't fucking write it. Slag in capital.
Honestly,
slag.
That whole saga has been hilarious, right?
Has there been an update? I meant to follow the girl.
So many updates. They went away together, the two of them, right? But I seen one earlier that was the dad, and the lips was just a quote, and it was the dad and the bird, right? And it was what the old man looks like and what the lassie looks like. And it's honestly hysterical. Also, as well, I've seen a few that are panning the lassie saying, if I found out that my old man was sleeping with my mate, right, it wouldn't be my pinned tweet on Twitter. Right. Again, it's like,
It is attention seeking, though.
I
Folk
know
doing
how.
that kind of stuff on social media. Again, it's like it's a bit attention seeking, some of that stuff. You wonder if it's even true, or if it's just to get loads of likes and
Definitely not
follows
the
and
trick, yeah.
Mhm.
Needs to be
So
true.
just
Like,
talk about
how would you position that with your old man to say, right, Dad, your phone's going to go a wee bit fucking mental over the next few days, but don't worry,
But it could,
I'm just going to get a few likes on Twitter.
oh,
it could
yeah.
be made up names in that, though.
I'll tell you a good one, lads, that I seen, right? This, right? Belter. Because it somehow always works back to Scottish football, right? Tia's dad and Chloe when she confronts them. And it's Neil Lennon when he was justifying the trip away to Dubai.
Completely allowed, no law breaking, yet no, we come back to this barrage, absolute hypocrisy. Completely allowed, no law breaking, yet no, we come back to this barrage of absolute hypocrisy. Completely.
What's funny though, I don't know if you've seen the tweets before for her, right? But she's like, oh, like, because I think the lassie moved in with her. This is turning into fucking agony, right? But
It's like fucking loose swimming or something.
I know
Like,
the lassie moved in with her. Pal moved in with her, right? And then she was tweeting things like, "Oh, I love leaving Chloe at mine whilst I'm at work. Come home to like my tea being made and all that
She
stuff."
made another lasagna.
Pasta bake, was it, no?
Pasta bake. One of the best ones I can tell you was Mother's Day's coming up. You better get a car. That was a good one too. No.
Tia, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, text into 80295. Just tell us if you're still pissed off with your old man. Brunswick Bill said, have you ever been questionnaire by the police?
When I was really young.
Send you a questionnaire.
aye. I'm sure that's how. I'm sure he's frozen. I got a questionnaire. I rolled my car on the Wisp, and I'm sure I had to fill a questionnaire in.
Or did you not
That's
speak
what
to you? Just
They spoke to me at the time, but then I had to take papers and that down to the next day, my license and all that stuff. And I had to fill stuff in. I'm sure I did. Long time
you
ago.
could
now.
have to do a theory test. Maybe you would have that crash. Yeah, that's look at the fucking improvements.
It was the practical. It was the problem. No, the fucking. Theoretically, I knew I was meant to go round the bend. No fucking straight over.
So you were saying when you were young, Liam?
Aye, when I was young, I got. I mean, I couldn't have been. Trying to think how old I would have been. Actually, I ken how old I was. Ken when Hibs had the yellow strip, right, with the Le Coq Sportif sponsorship and the badge was in the middle.
Yep.
Aye. Was that the White Mackay one?
Might have been Carlsberg, you know.
I was including it with the Carlsberg. That was how the description was for the Carlsberg one, was it not? Did you or Le Coq Sportif? Did you say Carlsberg at the start as well?
It was
No.
Carlsberg the sponsor, but I think the shirt was made by Le Coq Sportif.
Aye, it was. Sorry, I was away to Slate John then, but I was just making up stuff. Sorry, John.
And it was around about that time. And we got, I mean, honestly, we were on about, how old would that have been at that time? 10, maybe 9. And I mean, these two coppers pulled us. Justine Morden, right? And these two coppers pulled us, started questioning us, like 9-year-olds and that. Again, what you doing? We're like, nothing. What's your name in that? Ken, you think, what are you doing? What are you playing at? At the time, I'm going out with my dad and going, policeman's just asked me all the details in that again. Never done a thing wrong to. But it's the only time ever.
To be fair, not for anything I've done. Can't even think I've been asked anything for the. Definitely never been sent a questionnaire. Right. Mike says, when two vegans get into an argument, is it still called a beef? What else would you call it? A tofu?
Aye.
Having a wee tofu. 150k on Handler Hill says, when you say get it right, fuck it up you, what are you actually getting up them? It.
Mm-hmm.
What would you know? It.
Well, that's not what they've
Whatever it may
asked, There's no asked it. That's what it is. It's it.
That's the answer. Correct.
Tonto Hibs, do bald people still get dandruff?
Some do. I don't, but some do.
I don't know.
Because it's your scalp. It's your scalp that's flaking. It's nothing to do with your hair.
There you go. Actual factual. Harry MacArthur, if you could have Rocky boot one item into the Arbroath Sea, what would it be? And then in brackets, do not care that it's not called the Arbroath Sea.
Arbroath Sea.
I think it should be called the Arbroath Sea for them on.
What about
What would you have on boot into the sea?
Dick Campbell.
Paul McGowan's here.
I think that's halfway there itself anyway, is it not?
Just to
think
stick
I've
it in the
done
wind up there. Put the wind up there, I'll fucking blow away yourself.
Like that.
I'd be thinking more into my pet peeve list here, like queue jumpers. Somebody that's a queue jumper. Or somebody that says things like, my bad and oh my God. And,
Been there, done that.
That's just, what's the one? What's it they say that
You could just summarize
me,
it as cunts.
me being me. Again, that one, fuck off. I can fucking see.
What about you, John?
Just a succession of Scottish football characters that I didn't like. So pretty much everyone off his sports scene. Dick Campbell, Kevin Thompson, Stephen Thompson, Chris Boyd,
Alex Ray.
I slide tackle them right into the Arbroath Sea. All of them.
See, they put him on the game the night, Alex Ray. Again, on the Rangers game. You just think,
it's horrendous.
geez, peace, man. Again, just stick him on another
Who
game.
is it? Like, I've not got much of a complaint about getting like current or even former footballers on. Like, Colin, you've got a bit of a bee in your bonnet, and rightfully so, about the likes of Willie Miller and Pat Bonner and that. But they had who was it they had on for the Hibs game on Sunday? They had David Witherspoon, and then the boy that plays up front for Livy, who I'd never heard of before my puff. But I think
he was on loan at
against Hibs.
No, he was on loan at Arbroath.
So I suppose it's relevant, but you're kind of looking at it going, no disrespect, mate, but who the fuck are you?
Everybody's going, I'm not going to be on a fucking Sunday morning, it'd be fucking freezing. That's basically what Stevie Thompson and he was there, eh? It'd be all the other ones, Mikey Stewart, and that's going, nah, no payment enough to go up there, like.
So you think it was like the third division presenters that got sent up?
Well, Witherspoon, and that's a strange one. Witherspoon's alright, he came across well, spoke well about Hibs and that. I think his father-in-law's a Hibs fan and that, he mentioned that. So, but it's a bit like, who's he came for, like, in the media, sort of. But I'd rather have him than fucking any of the other clowns on sports scene. Giving you blood a bash, rather than fucking, as I said before, boys that played in the 80s. You know, it was a different game, pass backs and everything. Like, they didn't ken the rules. You can't break somebody's leg legally anymore. It's not allowed. It's just mental that they're still relevant.
Well, I'm going to say the wee penguin that I would have booted last week. That's but I like going in the sea anyway, so I wouldn't mind. It just gets there a bit quicker.
This is going to sound a bit daft, right? But I was going to suggest the penguin that you were talking about last week, hypothetically, because obviously there's a lot of chatting about
penguins.
I know. Yeah. But do you think there's a penguin out there that weighs about the same as a football? And is Definitely. It as aerodynamic? Like, could Rocky get the same distance out of it? Theoretically.
Only one way to find out. Imagine the uproar after the cat, though. Like, fucking hell. We talked about penguins in the sea after all that shit last week. Did you see that clip with Suras? For me, fucking hell.
Cat's done that.
I watched that clip over and over and over. It was fucking brilliant. For me. Like, as if he's like discussing him taking a dive or something.
Yeah, I mean, he's done nothing wrong.
Brian says you're forced to eat takeaway food for breakfast, lunch and dinner for a whole week. What style are you choosing?
Indian.
That's a good shout. That's what I would do. Because it was my birthday last week and my brother-in-law Charlie sent me for breakfast. It was a breakfast and it was the bacon naan for Dishoom.
Oh yeah.
Dishoom, man.
Quality. So you could have the bacon naan for your breakfast. Then you could have, like, I don't know, pakora or samosa or something for your lunch. And then every night there's loads of different meals to choose for the 7 nights. But I think if you go Chinese, you'd run out of options. There isn't 7 different meals for the Chinese. No. There is, but there's no. Can I mean, not taste they're all the same thing.
Do you get the same thing for the Chinese, or do you mix it up?
It's about 2 or 3 things that I rotate around. But I hardly ever go to Chinese anymore because I've.
Still lucky dip
I
for
just
him.
find it boring, eh?
I'm
Something
just
you never had
imagining you
before.
like circling your Chinese dish like the fucking sun.
Why are you imagining that? Never said anything in fucking suck.
It's just the way. It's just the way you described it.
Aye, you rotate. I think you rotate with 2 or 3 things in the Chinese. Whereas Indian, there's loads of things to pick for. What did you pick Indian for, Liam? What were you thinking?
Me for I love the Peshwari naan bread.
Aye.
I love the Peshwari naan bread, but I just got an Indian. Can't beat an Indian. Here's my problem though. I do like spicy food.
Aye.
So like I didn't
You
like,
like spicy food, and you pick it. So you just go
But you
for the
can
mild
get,
stuff.
But they've
Get
got
the
nice
korma.
taste. Aye, the korma's
but
got
they've got
flavour.
nice taste and stuff. So
Yeah.
like again, whether you got a masala or a korma, whatever, like it's just a nice taste. Yeah.
My wife's the same. She's not a big spice fan, but she likes an Indian more than a Chinese nut as well for the same.
I'm
reason.
totally the same.
Flavours.
I'd rather have that every day of the week than I don't really ever order a Chinese ever.
For you, John?
Hi, I'd probably go for the Indian as well. Like the shum that Colin mentioned, I was out there maybe about a month ago. I had the porridge, and I had 2 bowls of it because I think it's like an all-you-can-eat porridge kind of offering. After the second bowl, I was done. I couldn't have anything else. But
I haven't been yet, eh? It's really good, like, but I haven't been.
one of the Mrs. Pals had sent us through the bacon naan, but it was like a do-it-yourself at home kit.
Aye, that's what I
So
got.
we made that.
Yeah,
That was pretty good.
really good with the cream cheese and the chili
Aye.
and the coriander. And it's beautiful. It's cracking bacon as well. It's the apple smoked food stuff, like the good stuff. It's quality, like.
Need to go out for a Longbangers breakfast or something.
I think we need to get
that'd
that arranged. I'd go for Thai. I think
Aye.
good variety of stuff for Thai, like
Aye.
What was your
It's
for your
all-
breakfast like?
green curry.
Curry for your breakfast. Aye. Sorry.
Chuck some sugar on it. I think I'm not into the logistics. I just like that. It's probably if I could see myself eating it all week. Big variety of stuff. Go for that. John Callahan, is it pronounced data or data?
I say
Data. I say data.
Yeah.
Although
Data.
I think it probably is data, but I say data.
You get a database, eh? Like a database doesn't sound right. A
Through a
database.
database. Aye.
Mm.
John, you're the geek now, aren't you? You should be able to tell us.
It's, well, pre-geek, it was data. Current geek, it's data. It's data as far as I'm concerned.
Good, right.
Aye.
Actual factual, that's set in stone. Conor McCluskey, would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck?
Fuck's sake. We spoke about this before, haven't we? Because this was a question on. Do you mean you were going for an interview where I used to work? Mind I gave you a list of questions that, like the question bank.
You said that
That was one of the questions. Fucking nuts. I've never seen anybody ask it or answer it.
Shite bags.
It's just
You
like,
Well,
would,
you'd
you've
rather
had the
fight-
opportunity to ask that.
You'd rather fight 100 duck-sized horses, surely, because you're never taking on a horse-sized duck, are you?
I think that would be like a swan. Kind of swans, everybody says, a swan will break your arm. So I think a horse-sized duck would have the equivalent power of a big fucking swan.
Well, think about what its peck would be like.
Aye.
Its peck. Right. Its
See how-
peck.
See how they measure cars and horsepower? Like, would the
Duck power.
duck-sized horses have the same horsepower? Would they hit you with the same mass if they were all running?
Nah.
Nah, because
Would
they'd have wee duck feet.
But they're just duck-sized. They're still horses. So they've still got hooves. They've still got like their big bad teeth. Would they be wearing like tiny wee duck-sized saddles?
Wouldn't they have the stride pattern, would they?
Because if a duck kicked you, it wouldn't be sore. Do you know what I mean? So it's not going to be that much sore than if a horse kicked you than if an actual sized duck. If that ran up and booted you, but
They get
So
picked
what
at the post.
you could just you'd boot it back.
See, ducks
send
are
it
like
beside the penguin.
ducks are like clumsy things. So like, see if you see them walking, like kind of waddling about the place, like
Heavy
Sniper's
plates.
Nightmare. Aye.
True.
So I don't know. I think I'd maybe go for the duck. No, the horse-sized duck. Be a good bit eating in it afterwards as well.
I could pagger that. I'd pay to watch that, John. If somebody's got a horse-sized duck, I would at least £1. I would put £1 to watch you fight it. Maybe £1.50.
It would. You just have to go for the body shot. Like you wouldn't go for anything in the face because of the beak.
See, if you winded it, what kind of noise you could make if you winded a duck?
The hundred small horses, or duck-sized horses, it'd be more logistical. How the fuck do you fight 100 things? You know what I mean? Like they would come at you from all angles. So it'd be a lot harder.
Aye,
But
but
the
what
Russians,
could it be?
the Russian dancing, see how they crouch down and do the kick. That's all you'd have to do. Is just crouch, kick, and you'd be pigging them left, right, and centre. You'd be
You
all right.
can't do that nowadays. You'll end up in the same court as fucking the boy for West Ham.
Got Zuma.
But if it's self-defence, you'd be all right, surely. It kind of, as soon as it's going, well, the horses have only got themselves to blame. Me. Kaiser Soze says, if you could invade a country, what one and why? He says, I would invade Lithuania just to make Sunshine on Leith the national anthem. So if you could invade a country, which one and why?
Do we need to prefix this by saying hypothetically, like booting a penguin into the
I think we
Arctic
could
Sea?
take it for granted that none of us are actually intending to invade a country, John.
Or beat a penguin or fight 100 duck-sized horses.
Maybe we should start having that as a disclaimer at the start of every show, like the mental health podcast.
None of us are professionals.
happen.
Do not try this at home.
I'd probably invade England and make it a law that you had to watch Braveheart every night. I would just do something like that, like
Instead of the national anthem, like when the TV gets turned off.
like
Braveheart
actually, I would invade England and I would do away with the monarchy. That's what I would do.
Oh, lovely, I love it. I was actually going to go England as well, but I was going to say to give them some laws that they didn't like, that they didn't vote on either. Just
Aye,
similar to
that's
what we
fair.
get at the moment, but I take the monarchy as a good shout as well.
You, John?
don't know. What about? I feel like I want to go after something small, so it'll be easier, like Liechtenstein or Luxembourg or something. Just because, like that feels like something that I could
Monaco,
manage.
and then
Like,
you could become like the king of Monaco or whatever, and then it's a
Aye,
nice place.
Gibraltar.
Yeah.
aye. Like, I mean, who's going to say I'm going to invade Germany? Like that's a logistical nightmare as much.
I
as
mean,
it
to be
battering
fair,
ram
they
would
probably
be.
deserve it, but
Just running out, giving it. See how you like it.
I wonder what the most invaded country in the world is. Like, well, I was going to say Afghanistan, Iraq. They've got to be contenders, right?
Recently, aye.
Palestine.
I don't know if do they get invaded or do they just get encroached upon like ever more every year.
Dodgy subject, that one.
Aye.
It's a-
Cut,
that's-
cut.
That's how we go first. We're about to get cancelled, are we?
Yeah, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about that whole thing. It's just like fucking absolute fucking nightmare.
Aye,
And Celtic Rangers get involved in it as well, of course, because it's
obviously, aye. Why would they know?
Yeah.
I go for Australia because it looks a decent place to live.
weather's nice.
Aye.
Big. It's big though. It's
Teenage
so big.
crushes.
Hawaii,
Oh, yeah.
that's not very big. Hawaii.
Hawaii's a shout.
You'd have to wear the shirts away and have the pizza. So that's the drawback to it.
Caribbean, somewhere in the Caribbean, then. Like,
Aye, Caribbean be alright. Aye, it's a warm.
and they're quite laid back, in general.
Aye,
It's a bit of stereotype, but
China
they're-
just
they're-
sit there and go, "I crash on. You're fine."
aye, well,
All right, next question. Guinness 2022 says, are the zombies in The Walking Dead entitled to their standard grade results or do they need to reset them? How would you get a zombie to reset his exams? And in what
Good, it's-
circumstances would that come up?
Sure. So they must have. Well, did they set their exams before they became zombies, or were they setting their exams as they became zombies? Like, and how much did their prelims and their coursework come into account?
They have to have been pre-zombie when they were sitting the exam.
But did their oncoming zombification impact their ability to sit their exams?
Well, we'll just say yes or no for this one. Liam, yes or no?
I want to explore it in detail.
No.
Nah, I think they get to keep the result. It's maybe on their CV, kind of if they're going for a job, kind of the zombie supermarket or whatever, or the zombie butcher, and they're checking to see what they've got. I think all right.
I hope this doesn't sound patronising, but do you think that butcher is still a career choice for folk? Like, do you think are there kids out there who say, "When I grow up, I want to be a butcher," or is it more of like a family hand-me-down kind of tradition or vocation?
Well, I kind of boy who's a butcher, but his old man's Malcolm Allen, kind of like in Tesco, you see the Malcolm Allen sausages and that.
Fuck
his old
off.
man.
Aye.
He worked. I was his manager at HSBC when I worked there. Then he left and went to work with his old man.
He'll be minted.
Now. I would say so. He used to bring us in like a big steak pie and that every now and again, which was quality.
Aye.
Breakfast pie.
Quite like the Malcolm Allen stuff.
Aye, decent. We recommend them anyway. Not as good as Aldo's pies, but they're decent. Okay, next question. Paul Mackay. Who wrote the Bible?
Loads of folk.
Aye.
Well,
No,
I was going to
loads
say,
of
like,
folk.
there's the book X, Y, and Z. Did they write it themselves? Like those people?
Or they told them. It's like all told different stories, and then they kind of got collected, and then
Well, why? The thing is,
aye.
it's like, if you think about what
It's like
the
great
Bible is,
hits.
the Bible's a collection of stories, really, isn't it? So it's not just got to be one person that wrote it.
James Patterson.
It's pure if it was the way. Like if you had done it, and now, like thousands of years later, they're going, fucking loads of cunts done it. They'd be going, bastard, it was me. I don't know.
It's me, yeah.
Do you think there's anybody gets to write like the money out, like the royalties or whatever the equivalent is for writing a book?
No, but I tell you what, I did see. I seen on Pawn Stars that a boy managed to get a page of the Gutenheim Bible or something. It's like a really rare kind of Bible, and the boy sold a page of that in really good nick. Sold it to the Baldy boy in Pawn Stars for like 70 grand or something. Mental. Yeah.
So you know how in that Pawn Stars they go through like a process of we need to go and like verify that this is legit.
Legit. Aye.
Who do you go to and say, like, is this legit? Like, show me your Bible. Aye, the page is missing, so it must be this one.
She goes to that Rebecca. She's like a book expert, rare book expert. So she works for museums and curator and all that stuff. So she kens right away. It's really no.
Yeah, just change the subject a bit onto royalties and that. But see, like you write songs, right? So you make money eventually out of Spotify or whatever. Not very much out of Spotify, right? But see, like your kids, when you die, would they get your royalties? And does that keep passing on forever and ever?
Aye, because it's your like estate that.
Aye.
So
it
like,
just keeps getting passed on forever and ever. So like Noddy Holders, family.
Well, no, it doesn't get passed
never
on.
need to work ever again.
No, it doesn't get passed on forever. Because songs, I think, after can't mind how many years
or something like that. Is it 50
I think
years?
it's 70. It might be 100 now, though. In fairness, because I think the whole point is it's meant to outlast somebody's lifetime.
Right.
They become.
I was reading an article with Noddy Holder at Christmas. Again, and it was like he gets something like, I can't mind. It was over $500,000, maybe 50 every year, just for that one song.
Aye, but that's just radio play and stuff. Well, no, that's legit.
But I wonder how long it went on and on and on. You know what I mean?
Do you think Retro Video Club will bring out a Christmas song?
Oh, we've been asked that loads, mate. Really hard to write a Christmas song, eh? And the problem is, what's funny is, there's loads of Christmas songs, but we only ever hear the same 20.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same Christmas songs you've been listening to your entire life.
How'd you break into it? You need to get a cheering to join him.
I know, and there's a few belters, in fairness. Like, there's a few really good ones. It's just really hard to do a Christmas song well. Like, Fairy Tale New York is probably the best one. But it's what makes it a Christmas song. Just because he says it was Christmas Eve. Yeah. Other than that, no Christmas song, is it?
the E17 one, like, it's quite a good song.
Stay Another Day
It's
as
not
well.
about Christmas.
Nah.
There's just like some bells on in the background.
Aye.
Because it's all about his brother. I think his brother killed himself or died early or something. I can't remember the exact thing, but it's not to do with Christmas.
I mean, ones that specifically reference Christmas. I mean, the Mariah Carey one's good, obviously, and actually, Last Christmas is good or not.
Yeah, aye.
But again, it's hard to get without being really cheesy, I think.
Yeah,
Just
we'll,
Jesus.
write one. We'll send you lyrics and that. We'll send you one. We'll knock up about 20 minutes. It'll be fucking great.
As soon as you put the bells in, As soon as you put the sleigh bells in,
as
it's
long as
like,
you've got one.
God.
Sorted.
Guinness 2022 again says, did President Trump make a mistake by focusing on the security angle of the border wall? If he highlighted 22nd century tourism benefits similar to current day Great Wall of China, would it have received cross-party Mexican support? Just didn't think far enough ahead, but
So like it was a sort of irrational guy, Just
he definitely positioned it badly with the Mexicans. Like he could have. It's like we always say that with Star Wars. You see, if instead of calling it the Death Star, if they'd called it the Happy Star, they couldn't be minded. They would be like, "All right, build it away. Like you have that, Darth. It's fine. We'll no bother fighting it."
If you're doing change, right? If you're trying to implement a change, like that's what I did at work. You need to sell the benefits. Like what were they selling the Mexicans there? Like we're going to box you in. They're never going to be on site.
And also, you just need to pay for it. You can't come in. You need to pay for it. Yeah. Here's a war that you didn't want, but that you're paying for. It's like, all right.
Right, last couple of questions, or last few questions here. Right, Councillor Tom McEwen says, when you buy an electric product, should you keep the box in the loft just in case you need to send it back?
I keep the box in case I come to sell it.
Everybody does. I think
everyone does.
boxes of things.
I don't know, the box goes straight in the bin for me as soon as it's plugged in. It's
Aye.
That's what we thought. That's what I started doing. But if I went up in the loft, now there'd be like Xbox boxes or like a bread maker box, and it probably with a bread maker in it. To be fair,
you could probably sell that because you've no business.
I did never hire a home baker. Fucking living up there. Right. I'll try and show this up to the camera. This is a caption. This was there you go. Right, this looks like a wee beardly fella pointing up to another beardly fella. And to get a caption. Oh, it's disappearing. What the fuck, right?
I can see it. I can see it a bit.
You sent us that earlier,
I did. This is what we didn't normally prepare for the questions, but I did put this in the group chat so that you'd had a chance.
Just remembered the minute.
Again, I'm using it again, but my caption would be, honestly, that's his actual hair.
Brian, who's occasionally on the podcast, said, "Fuck off, Hitler, you long-haired baldy bastard."
they both.
That's a great show.
They both think that they're hard, don't they?
Here, is that on the right hand side, the boy in the blue and red? Is that the boy, the bouncer at bar 38 telling Matty to fuck off?
He is amazing. Fancy shirt on, look. On the left.
No, the right side. It's going to smell my finger.
I smell my finger, right?
You're saying I spent a lot of money to look this bad.
Charlie Banks, what's your favourite one-liner joke?
I need to come at you, Matthew, here. You're the one with the memory for all these shitey jokes.
Nothing rhymes with orange. No, it doesn't.
Liam, you get any good ones?
Nah, my ma's favourite joke is a short one. I went to the dentist. Says, "Can you give me any advice on my yellow teeth?" And the dentist says, "Just wear a brown shirt." That's a joke. Believe it or not, it's not a joke, but that is the joke. Shite joke. Fucking shite joke, man. You fucking fucked it for me. Right? Nobody laugh. Right? Aye, that's a joke. I don't know how it's a joke, but it is apparently.
Sorry, match it. I match the teeth with the kind of like a fashion thing. Aye, that's what I think.
Up.
Yeah.
Cheers, Colin.
If you've watched the Afterlife, get the Ricky Gervais
Netflix.
The Joker boy, it's right at the end of the third season. The kind of scruffy, trampy looking boy.
Brian.
Why?
Aye.
Why did the wee girl fall off the swing? She had no arms. That's the joke he tells. He just daffles that. They're the ones that make you laugh him. Or why does nobody wear a hat with a little bell on it? Because he's a cunt.
At least we're not touching on the Jimmy Carr ones, eh? We'll
No.
them,
We'll get cancelled. Ewan McAleese said, supposing reincarnation is real, what animal would you like to come back as and why?
Not a penguin.
I was going to say a penguin, John.
Or a cat.
Or a cat.
I was going to say like a wee dog, but then you think, a bird would be quite good. You could just fly about in that.
Fly about,
See if you came back, if you could choose to come back as a cat, and you were aware that you were a cat, that you were aware that your choice had been granted. Would you seek out Kurt Zuma and scratch fuck at him?
To be fair, I mean that cat's living a life of luxury though. But he's living a life of luxury as well. That cat.
Well,
I mean,
now or while he was
Well-
getting booted about the living room.
No.
Oh, that one time. I mean, you don't know how many times it's happened, of course, but before and after, he's been living in a big fancy house, but he's getting fed good dinner and that. I mean, the cat might think worth it.
I was all right there. I was getting salmon for my dinner every night and all the rest of it. I kicked his butt. Again, swings and roundabouts.
I used to get whisker, now I'm in the RSPCA shelter.
I wouldn't even come back as a turtle or something like that. You live for fucking ages. Life's just like a dead slow pace. You've got your own house, you can toddle off whenever you like, and you live somewhere hot.
I wonder
That
what sort
would be
of what's the natural predator for the is it the tortoise? Tortoise, are they the land-based ones?
It's Bebop and Rocksteady that they were. And what was it? Krang or something like that?
Fuck off.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? It was Bebop and Rocksteady, they were the baddies. So
Well,
that's the
aye.
natural predators there.
Aye, was it Kang or Krang?
Krang, that's it.
Shredder.
Folk who like crusty pies, that's the natural predator for a turtle.
What do you mean by folk that like crusty pies?
That's what a fucking turtle looks like, doesn't it?
Are you trying to tell me they look like Cornish pasties?
Aye, like a Cornish pasty mixed with a fucking Scotch pie. You just like hole in the top bit like that, like to steam it when you cook it. That's you. Ready-made pie. It's like a walking Fray Bentos. All right, did everybody give us an
So a
answer
tin opener is the natural predator for a turtle.
there? Tin opener. Ewan McAleese said, lick raw sewage or Thatcher's corpse.
What's raw sewage?
Well,
What is raw sewage?
sewage
Is it not just-
shit?
Is it? Is it not just like
It's no treated.
the mixed shite? A number of different folk in the sewer.
That's when it's raw. What? And then
Go
do
with
they cook it after that? Like, is that the smell at Seafield when it's in the oven?
Aye, that's it. That's how it stinks there. It's when they're baking it up.
200 degrees for 45 minutes.
Everybody's
course
taking the
it'd be
sewage.
dead. No, it would just be bones in that though. That'd be easier. The bones, eh? I can't believe they've got it.
Well, it'd be dust now, probably.
Aye, it'd be easier.
How long should be dead?
Oh, no, 10
Long
years, eh?
enough.
I don't know. I think she's still going to be a bit soupy like.
It's super.
Eh?
Nah.
Aye.
But does she cremated or
Oh, actually, that's a good point.
2013, by the way, so 9 years.
They can, but
Buried. She was buried. She was buried.
Okay.
Aye.
So in theory, you could do
She'll be
this.
a-
This is a question that could come true.
She's
Careful what you say.
she's
to your
going to
dog.
be. She'll be in a crypt. It'll be like mega creepy. No, a really
Right.
fucking heavy stone slab to make sure she can't come back out. She's still alive.
This been far too long considering the answer
Aye.
to this fucking question.
We'll move on. Right, last two questions. Fattest Prick, he said, how clean are whistles when presumably they're all full of saliva? So clean as a whistle. That'd be Cockney rhyming slang, though, wouldn't it, for a whistle and flute? That's where that saying will come from. It'll not be for the actual toot whistles.
Aye.
I did again. I've never even thought about it.
Aye. Well,
Well,
you wouldn't be sharing a whistle in these COVID days, would you?
No.
All right, last question then, right? Right, each pick one and give us a convincing argument as to why you're right. Right, so it's who's the best sports movie villain? And you need to pay attention. So,
movie villain.
Yeah, sports movie villain. So you've got Shooter McGavin.
I was going to say him anyway.
Right. Well, hold on, wait till you hear all the choices.
What's he
Happy
from?
Gilmore.
All right, okay, aye, okay.
Ivan Drago for Rocky. White Goodman, to think is Dodgeball.
Dodgeball, aye.
Oh, aye, Dodgeball.
Big Red, I think where she's from. Big Red.
No, don't know.
Johnny Lawrence of Karate Kid.
Oh, aye.
Rachel Phelps. I think I know who that is. Bud Kilmer. Clubber Lang, which again was his Mr. T.
Rocky.
For Rocky. Jane Gerard, who I think was off of what's the Will Ferrell one with his racing car drive? Talladega Nights.
Digger Nights.
Oh yeah.
Aye. Or other. So, who's the best sports movie villain out of them?
I say that actually. It's probably no Shooter McGavin.
It's Drago.
Probably Drago, aye, I would say.
Because he was so cold, it was like,
I know.
It was.
Andy kills Apollo, which is like.
Nah.
Yeah. Andy's
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
Spoiler alert. Hey, we
Spoiler
don't
alert,
know
aye. Too late with the spoiler alert.
25-year-old. Aye.
I'm not entirely sure of their rank, but the prison team that played against Pele and Sylvester Stallone in that and escaped to victory, they're pretty dodgy movie villains, sports villains.
I'll tell you who's a good one. You seen Mean Machine with Vinnie Jones?
Yeah.
Seen that? The boy that's a
Aye.
guard in that. He's quite bad actually.
I might pick Johnny Lawrence for the Karate Kid. Have you seen the Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai.
On
I've not
Netflix.
watched it, but I've seen it.
How can he be a movie villain when you were saying that the TV show paints a different slant and makes him out to be
Aye,
the good guy?
it does, but that came from like a fan theory after the Karate Kid film was like years old. It was on, I can't remember if it was Twitter, but they were just like, by the way, Johnny's made it to be the bad guy in this, but look how much a cunt Daniel LaRusso is to him. And they basically kind of show or talk through all the incidents where it's all ended in bother, and invariably it's Daniel LaRusso that started it all. He's just like a little prick, and Johnny Lawrence is just minding his own business, and this new kid's come to school and just started bamming him up, and that's pretty much how it gets portrayed in Cobra Kai later on. So I'll pick him, Johnny Lawrence. Anyway, right, Liam, you are touring in April at the Liquid Rooms. What's the story there?
Aye, that's true. That's the first date of the tour. We're away doing to England on the 25th, but we're in the Liquid Rooms on the 23rd. We're doing 2 nights in Glasgow on the 6th and 7th of April, but they're sold out. And then we're doing Liquid Rooms on Saturday the 23rd, so that'll be a good old night, that one.
Where do you get tickets in that? Is it
you get tickets on Ticket Web if you go to any of our social media, so Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, any of that stuff. The links will be there, but Ticket Web's where you go and you can get tickets to come and see us.
Do you have a support act or anything, or is it just you boys straight on?
No, there will be a support act. We've not decided who it'll be yet, but we'll definitely have somebody on. We'll have somebody on.
Support act.
Yeah.
How would you go about picking a support act?
We just have a think about who we'd quite like. I mean, what I was saying to the laddies is what I think we're going to do is put up posts asking for like local bands and that, again, like younger bands or whatever, just to send us their demos or their songs or whatever, and then pick one of them. Like,
Sure.
again, just because we were in that situation or not, whereby again we were just sort of starting out and would have again cut with Ermo for a sort of opportunity like that. So I think we've got to try and do that for
very good
for these shows.
Nice one. And you can find all your stuff on Spotify, etc. as well. We will have a listen this week. But I wanted to ask you about the Burning Heroes thing. How did that come about?
So the Hibs Heroes thing came about by virtue of Barry, actually. We'd been asked to do Hibs Heroes for kind of View for the Terrace.
I saw you on that,
that telly show. So we'd been asked to do Hibs Heroes for that. And we were like, Hibs Heroes. Again, we'll know the Proclaimers one or just. But then we thought, well, we'll see what we can do with it. So we just slowed it down, changed it a bit, and they sort of liked it. And then Barry had heard it and really liked it. And then he was on at Hibs and was like, look, we'll just record it for us so we can play it before the games and that. And we were like, aye, no bother. So recorded it for them, gave them it. And then he was obviously, he was asking us to, he's like, I'd love you to be able to come and do it at the stadium. So when we played at the Derby, originally it was going to be the whole band playing. But the practicality of that was just, it's just no setup for a band playing. So I said, well, we could do acoustic maybe, and then I wasn't quite sure how it would work. I went for a sound check a day before, thought it was pretty loud, like again, but I knew they would boo the whole time, so I thought, I was praying that all the Hibs fans join in, because if they didn't, like again, unfortunately they did, and actually it was really loud in the stadium. So that's kind of how it came about, and he really likes the band anyway, Barry. He's actually a top bloke actually. He really likes the band and has came to see the band and stuff like that. So we've been asked to do the Player of the Year awards or not.
Have you? Aye. No, Barry's been on here. Barry's a good guy.
Yes.
He's a really nice guy.
Yes, he's
If
really,
you're not careful, Hibs will sign you up as an official partner.
He's brand new, so it was quite funny in that. I think with the whole like playing it live and that, it's like, what was I got to do? Is it I kept saying to people, that's the closest I'll ever get, right, to scoring for Hibs, like in front of them, and like, you know what I mean? Any single, I mean, I got it proper tight on Twitter and that, but for every Jambo or whatever that was giving me it tight, there was a Hibs supporter saying that it was great. You know what I mean? So again, it's just a bit of banter at the end of the day. But
that was quality. We were. Well, Charlie was beside me, and he was recording it for your Uncle John, and he missed you doing the get up, and I'm going, he's fucking just give it. Get up. Missed it. We had to wait till the next day. He sent it to John with the whole video where you giving it to them. So
I know that, and there's no way. Like all my mates, I mean, I had mates in the Hearts that were like, look. We all thought it was funny, like, and a lot of them. I mean, I got some belters comments, like some I couldn't even be mad at. They were that good, the insults. But it's just a bit of banter, But the as I say, that's the closest I'll ever get to scoring. Like for him,
living the dream, mate. Living the dream. That's what we said after that. Yeah.
Aye. Play this out Easter Road.
I know. So it was good, mate. It was really good, and the Player of the Year awards will be a laugh and all.
Aye, it'll be a cracking night. Listen, thanks very much for coming on. We're kind of running out of time, so we've taken up probably about an hour and 45 minutes of your life that you'll never ever get back. But we appreciate you coming on and having a bit of a laugh with us. We're back on Saturday, maybe, or Sunday. We'll be back on Sunday with Heatbangers. Definitely before Longbangers is back on Monday, where we are joined by the author of The Best Day to Beast Day
Colin
to
Leslie.
Belgium. Colin Leslie, thank you. I've got a terrible memory for names and that, like fucking famously bad for it. So thanks for taking me out there or helping me out there, Colin. So tune in for that. Until then, we'll catch you later.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.